إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين All Alhamd belongs to Allah Rabb of all the worlds. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. So today we are going to continue our journey about a surah that we recite the most in our prayers, where the Holy Quran started from. And we'll keep learning to appreciate the intricacies and nuances that are sometimes lost in the translation. And why are we doing that? So this could help pave the way for us to appreciate the Quran and set our journey to become an optimist, inshallah. So as we discussed, Alhamd means thanks, and it means to praise. It has both meanings combined in the word hamd. Now they are different things. Praise and thanks are different. We can praise a bird, a tree, a river, a mountain, or anything else that captures our attention, but we don't thank them. It'd be weird if we started thanking the tree, the river, or a bird. But it won't be weird to appreciate them, and through them, we get to thank the Creator who created everything. Another thing that we discussed was the difference between a noun and a verb, and what is the significance of that when reading and pondering the Holy Quran. The quality of a noun or ism in Arabic is that it's not stuck in time. It's timeless. It does not need a doer. So whenever Allah is talking about something that is permanent, that stands on its own, He uses a noun. He uses an ism. For example, knowledge is a noun. Knowledge about sciences, arts, Islam, other discipline exists. They exist even if we believe it or not. The knowledge is there. Now, if we were to compare it with a verb, that's an action that's stuck in time, and due to that, it's temporary. So if I'm doing something right now, I won't be doing that in the future, so it's temporary, whatever I'm doing right now. And we need someone to do it. So I have to stand here and do this. So if we were to follow the same analogy, to know is a verb and the knowledge is a noun. And if you were compare the two, if I want to know more about sciences, I want to know more about astronomy, I want to know more about arts, then I'm the doer and I'm engaged in that act of knowing, so I'm doing it right now. If the knowledge about those sciences and those disciplines exist, regardless of if I'm there or not. Similarly, the knowledge about Islam exists, whether I'm learning it or not. And what we're talking about comparing the noun and the verb is when we talk about Alhamdulillah, praise and thanks belongs to Allah. The word praise is a noun, it's timeless, doesn't need a doer. The word thanks is a noun, does not need a doer, and it's timeless. So when we talk about Alhamd, using an ism or noun belongs to Allah. We are discussing and appreciating that He is timeless and doesn't need anyone to do His praise. He is praised in Himself. Now when we read and hear the words inna, in the Quran occurs a lot. Inna Allah Ghafurur Rahim. And we read the translation, some translation says Inna means verily. What does that mean? What does verily means? I didn't know. So I kept wondering. In contemporary words, we could say for sure, indeed, no doubt. So when I'm using the word inna, I'm trying to put emphasis of the argument that I'm trying to make. If the other person is not believing it, I'm saying, well, inna, and then I use my sentence to convince them. When we start our khutbah, we start with inna alhamdulillah. We're saying the same words, alhamdulillah, but we are prefacing it with the word inna. And what that adds to the meaning is that no doubt, for sure, indeed, believe me, the ultimate hamd belongs to Allah. So why not add inna to add emphasis for Fatiha as well? Well, inna adds more emphasis. And we say it. How come Allah didn't say it? He didn't start the Fatiha by saying Inna alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. He does say in the Quran, Inna Allah Ghafurur Rahim. He does use those quotations. And to appreciate that, we need to understand there are two kinds of sentences in Arabic. One is to communicate the information, and the other is to communicate the emotion. By not using the word inna at the start of Fatiha, Allah made it more informational and emotional. So when a scholar is teaching, they are using for information, and they use the word inna because they're trying to convince the other side, and they're explaining their point of view. But when we cry in the prayer, when something good happens to us, and we say Alhamdulillah, we are not using it as information. We are using it as an emotion. By not using the word inna in Fatiha, Allah made it both informational and emotional. And we get to experience both. Subhanallah. Now, Fatiha is not a debate. It's a voice of guidance for every human. It's based on fitrah. It's said as a universal truth. So if I were to say today is Friday, then I don't have to add inna to it. I would just mention that today is Friday and everyone would know that it's Friday. I would only have to add that if someone is not believing it. And when the Fatiha starts, it's a universal truth, so it's explaining it like as it is a fact, not an argument, not a debate. May Allah give us the understanding the true meaning of His words. Islam begins with a positive attitude. Optimism is part of our faith. We can't say Alhamdulillah while being pessimist. We can't praise and thank someone if we are not thankful. That thank or that gratitude will be meaningless if it's coming from the tongue and not from the heart. You can't be thankful if you are not appreciating the favors of Allah. So we need to focus on what is going right in my life instead of focusing on what's not going well. And just making that shift, we'll be able to try to find positivity in every situation. We need to reflect on the Holy Quran and try to understand with a bit of a translation and a bit of a grammar at a high level to truly appreciate the meaning of Allah, as mentioned in the Holy Quran. Now, it's easier said than done to be an optimist when most of us are carrying some kind of baggage, we're dealing some kind of difficulty, we're dealing with some kind of task. So pray for istiqamah to get through it in our prayers whenever you have some time. Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim. Let's make dua. May Allah make us people who can sincerely say Alhamdulillah and mean it. May you have the right mindset and focus to keep us at the right path. May Allah help Muslims across the globe wherever they need help and are being oppressed, especially in Palestine and other parts of the world. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. أقم الصلاة.